My name is Ty Abrams, and I'm the founder and CEO of AdmissionSquad. And we have been on a mission for the last 9 years to get talented students from underserved backgrounds into New York City's specialized high schools, the screened high schools, even into top colleges. And the ultimate goal here is to build the nation's leaders so that these children can go on to secure rewarding careers where they can be disruptors, they can be leaders and innovators, and they can go ahead and change the world. The first step of that process is to get them access to the best high school education possible. And here in New York City, the specialized high schools comprise some of the nation's finest. Today, we have Karl Watson with us, and he's going to be sharing his experience being a student at Stuyvesant High School. And not just any student, he is a Black student at Stuyvesant High School. And every year we get the numbers that so few Black and brown students place into Stuyvesant. So now you all get to hear directly from a student who is successfully navigating Stuyvesant High School. So Karl, can you just share a little bit more about who you are and what it has been like to be a Black student at Stuyvesant?
Yeah, so I'm Karl Watson, as you said, and I'm a senior at Stuyvesant High School. My first year was on Zoom, so I like to consider it my, third year actually at the school. But my experience has been, it's been tough, but honestly, I would definitely say that Stuyvesant was a good choice. It's a good school choice and has been well worth it. So currently at the school, I'm active in my school's Black Student Union. I am on leadership actually, and we basically hold meetings every Wednesday where we just have discussions, mostly just relaxed topics, but occasionally we will have events come up or more in-depth discussions about the more important stuff. But yeah, that's mostly my bio within Sty.
Wonderful. So can you just walk us through your journey to getting into Stuyvesant? So tell us about the middle school you went to, your preparation process, and what ultimately happened when you realized that you got into Stuyvesant High School.
Yeah, so I come from, I don't know if it's a very known middle school, but it's called Ember Charter Schools, and I've been there since kindergarten all the way up to 8th. And I didn't really know about the specialized high school. I didn't know what a specialized high school even was until my 6th grade year, where my teacher recommended me to join the DREAM program over the summer. And yeah, that was basically my my coursework for the exam. That's all I really did. I went there for 2 summers, and yeah, I took the exam. I put Stuyvesant first just because after doing a super quick search, it was I think it was the highest ranked school. So I was why not put it first? And yeah, I guess the rest is kind of history.
Do you remember what your score was?
I never heard my score actually.
No. Oh wow.
No, I didn't know.
But
I didn't even know how the exam was graded.
But did you have to do the Discovery program?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so you got into Discovery. And
Yeah.
so you put Stuyvesant, so that means you scored anywhere from a 450 to a 496 or something like that. And then you did this summer program. Can you talk a little bit more about the Discovery program? Because a lot of parents just don't really know about it. Some parents in our current cohort, because we do have a couple of students who placed into Bronx Science through Discovery, and a couple students, with their parents, and they were oh my God, the school is gonna make us take another test. I don't know if they're in. So I had to call them and have personal conversations to say, hey, no, the Discovery program means you're officially in. So can you just talk about what you had to do in that summer program just to help, some of our families to understand some of the content and expectations of the summer program right before 9th grade?
Yeah, so I had mine on Zoom because of COVID. But I remember I had 3 classes I think bio, I think geometry, and freshman comp. And I don't I guess we're supposed to be like preliminary courses to the ones you'd be actually taking at Sty. But it's basically just a class that you take over the summer. It's not a lot of work. I don't remember it being like really difficult. But they did give homework. We did have tests. It's kind of just like summer school, really.
And it's like a prerequisite to what you're gonna do in ninth grade.
Yeah, because I believe we were doing the same stuff that we did freshman year during the summer discovery program.
Okay, perfect. And would you say that any of the students who you did that summer program with didn't get in at the end of the summer?
I don't really remember anyone from there. Like it was because I guess partially because it was Zoom and because I wasn't really like paying that much attention to the other people there.
Okay.
But I remember some faces, but I can't say myself if everyone who was in the program got in.
Okay. Would you say that, did they tell you anything about ways that you might not get in after attending that summer program? Like what would you have had to do to be disqualified, so to speak?
Oh, they've never said anything about that.
You never said anything, yeah. So from my understanding is as long as you have a seat in the discovery program, you do the work that they ask you to do in the summer, you show up, you're pretty much in. So it really is a guaranteed seat as long as you do the work that they ask, and it's not challenging, it's not another SHSAT, it's simply your participation. So I just wanted to clear that up for any families that are still wondering about that. All right, so now you're at Stuyvesant. I know that for that freshman year, a little bit of a fluke because you're not on campus, you're not able to really build those connections. So let's kind of go to your sophomore year. What was it like once you step foot on campus now and you are in a sea full of people who don't look like you? What was that like for you?
Well, one, it was a pretty big, I guess, culture shock. Like I after looking at the statistics of the school, I should have expected it, but I guess it didn't really hit me until I was actually there. But yeah, I think now, like right now, there's like only 40 Black kids across all grade levels. So definitely my first experience there was like, or with it was like I guess like a culture shock, seeing no one that looks like me. And this is like, especially in contrast to my middle school where basically, not even basically, everyone there was either Black or brown. So yeah.
How quickly were you able to make friends?
Actually, I think, no, my first few friends were John and Raymond. I think it was the club fair, actually, our school's first club fair. And I was just walking around and then I saw the Black Students Club and I was like, oh, and I walked up and then I joined, and then Raymond and John walked up to me. They were actually trying to hire me for the football club or the football team. And well, and then from there, it was really just history. Like we were just best friends ever since.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Okay, so you did mention that it has been a tough journey for you. Can you talk about what has been most challenging about attending Stuyvesant High School?
Definitely the workload, like 100%. It's really hard, but I wouldn't let that deter me, like from going to the school. I think it's like perfect for preparing you for, I guess, what college is going to be like in the rest of your life.
So how did you overcome those challenges, right? So we know that, look, Stuyvesant is not easy. You have a lot of responsibilities across all of your different courses. So what were some of the things that you did to overcome that?
I started like really doing my work. The biggest tip I could give is honestly to do your work in school. And when I started doing that, like everything just went uphill from there. Like everything became so much more manageable, using your free time as wisely as you can. Because when I get home, I'm not productive at all. Like before I got on this meeting, I was just watching YouTube on my phone. So I know that myself like for myself and even other people, that definitely making sure you use your free periods and your time in school as best as you can. And
Well,
especially seeing your teachers after school for office hours
yes.
and tutoring and stuff like that, like it's really helpful.
Look, even us adults, between Instagrams, TikTok, YouTube, distraction is all around us. And
Yeah.
so you really have to be good about time management. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say. When I remember being at Bronx Science and we had free periods built into the day, and I also had a commute from Brooklyn to the Bronx. So I had time and I could have squandered it, just doing random things. But no, I chose to use those pockets of time wisely. So by the time I got home, it was really spending time with family, having dinner, and going to sleep, So I didn't really have to do too many like all-nighters, things like that, because I really used time during the day wisely. So it sounds like you've learned that lesson, and I think it's going to serve you well when you head to college. So it sounds like you found your tribe in the Black Students League / Aspira. So that's really wonderful. In terms of navigating resources at the school, would you say that BSL, the Black Students League, has helped you to do so? Or were there other avenues through which resources were disseminated to you? And I mean, how do you find out information about colleges, internships? Aside from the club fair, were there any other avenues that you could leverage to better understand how to find access to opportunity?
Yeah, so the BSL has been like really instrumental in my college, like I guess not only the application process, but just like getting into it all. So before junior year, I didn't know anything about colleges. Like I had basically no idea what I was doing. And but BSL, they held, I think the seniors from 2 years ago or a year ago, I can't remember. They had a meeting where they like went over everything, the college process, how to write an essay, how to choose where you want to go, not just following the big schools, the Ivies. And that was like honestly like one of the best things the club's ever done for me. And additionally, we also took a trip to DC, which we're doing again in like 2 weeks, where we went to go see Howard, Georgetown, and just tour a lot of a lot of other areas in DC. So that was also really helpful for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I know that you, Raymond, and John are good friends, but do you feel like you've been able to cultivate relationships with other Black and Brown students? That's the first question. And then what about relationships with students outside of your race? How has that been?
Well, yeah, definitely. I know other people, or other Black students in the club as well. I could say that we all know each other. We're all definitely like pretty close in that we talk a lot and we're able to have like enjoyable conversations with each other. But even outside of my race, I've been able to make friends. I would say that I guess my closest friends are I guess Black students, just because I feel like we're just more tightly knit in that we go to the same club. But I have friends and people I talk to outside of my race as well.
Awesome. So what would you say to someone who is currently considering going to Stuyvesant High School? They are in their study process. Like right now, we have a whole boatload of students who are studying with us to get ready for the exam this coming fall. And so what would you say to those students? They're kind of on the fence.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on why they'd be on the fence about it. I don't really know how I would respond to that more generally.
Okay, well, I can give you some of the concerns that I've encountered. So
Yeah.
one concern is like, oh my gosh, there's just so many white and Asian students at the school. So I just don't feel that I'm gonna fit in. I don't feel like I'm gonna be supported. I'm scared, and I don't necessarily know that I'm gonna enjoy my experience. So what would you say to that?
I would say that this is definitely something you're going to have to overcome. Like, especially if you're going into a field that's like predominantly, or I shouldn't say predominant, but like not
Yeah.
black, you know.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think Stuyvesant does a really good job at preparing you for that, you know, well, obviously. And I think it's not as bad as, well, at least for me, it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. Like I thought I'd be getting, I guess, like hate crimes, like, every week or something like that. But that's not really the reality of going to school here or being in a predominantly non-black environment. So I would definitely say don't worry that much about it and use it to improve or like get an understanding of how it is to be in environments like that.
And the other concern is just like what you said, like it's just too much work. I mean, I just don't want to do all of this work. Like, is there an easier specialized high school that I can go to? So, and we're talking about students who are scoring well enough to get into Stuyvesant, right? So we obviously have folks who are kind of on the way up, but they have a ways to go. But I'm saying, I mean, let's say we have a student that they have the score or they're close to the score and they're like, I don't really want to do all that work. Do you think that that's the right mindset? Do you feel like, what would you say to that student?
I would say that they need to be realistic. The world isn't easy, life's not easy, and after this, you're going to be in college, so you're going to have to do the work at some point, and it's better to do it sooner now in Stuyvesant than it is to do it in college, where the risk is not as bad, or you don't have to end up paying money to take courses again in college. So I would say just do it. You're gonna learn how to manage it now, so you can better manage it in college.
Now you're touching on something very important here, and that is when you are in these amazing high schools, you have opportunities to take advanced placement courses where you can get level 4s and level 5s, which will give you college credit. You also have opportunities to take actual college courses that will also give you college credit. And this can be applied to your college experience. Like, for example, when I was at Bronx Science, I did BC Calculus, got a 5 on the exam, and that wiped out 2 of the math courses I had to take in college, Calc 1 and Calc 2. So I was able to start at multivariable calculus. And I actually did multi in high school and was able to just take it again in college. So these are the types of opportunities that you have, which can ultimately save money, save time, allow you to graduate a year early. So you want a school that has these opportunities, has the amazing faculty, and has the support systems in place to allow you to score well enough for it to matter, right? Like there's some schools out there that even have APs, but the teachers aren't strong or the program isn't strong enough for you to actually do well on those APs. So it's kind of like not really a good use of your time. So I love that you're kind of talking about thinking long term, because when you think short term, you miss out on tremendous opportunity to get on track for success in a record time. So that is truly wonderful. So I just wanted to, I guess, just talk about your interactions with faculty in general. I'm sure you don't really come across, well, you can tell me, do you feel seen, heard, valued, by the faculty? Do you feel like your voice matters in the classroom? What is it like from a, student to teacher standpoint being Black at Sty?
I would say my race hasn't really played a role in my status as a student here. So I've felt heard in all my classes. I haven't been discriminated by any of my teachers, at least, well, not blatantly, as far as I know. But I would say it's pretty normal, I guess. I can relate it to my middle school teachers. I feel I was recognized in the same way. So I would say being Black doesn't really have an effect on how your teachers or faculty recognize you here.
Wonderful. And I guess, like, you know, one of my last questions is just basically like, you're at Stuyvesant, you know, like, that's major. When you look at the top high schools in America, right? You can just do a quick Google search. We're talking about the whole country. Which schools are considered top, elite, high quality that are public? Stuyvesant is top 10, right? In the country, not just in the city. And so how has that changed your life? Like, what type of impact has it had on your life so far? And we could be talking about opportunities you've had, the types of people you've met, how you think about your success moving forward, the type of access you have. I just want to hear from you just how it has been a game changer for you, because I certainly felt that Bronx Science like upgraded me. I had the knowledge, I had the skill set, I had the brilliance, but I probably wasn't in the best environments that could completely bring all of it out of me. I went to a pretty strong middle school. I went to Lanks Academy here in District 18, was the valedictorian. So obviously I was at the top of that group of students. And so it was extremely important that I got into an environment where I could be challenged on a much higher level and have the type of access that could catapult me to success. So I didn't know about Duke University, which is the college I went to before Bronx Science. My mom didn't know about it. My sisters didn't know about it. Like, it wasn't on our radar. But being in that collegiate environment where everyone aspired to success, I actually dreamed bigger. You know, it's because of Bronx Science that I set my sights on going to a top 10, even top 5 college, and Duke was number 5 at the time. I believe so much more was possible for me. I started to just really feel like I could do and be anything because of the amazing people that I went to school with, the amazing teachers I had the privilege of being taught by, just all of the ingredients. Even the principal at the time, Miss Reedy, our first assembly with her, you know, she was just like, in this room, we have students who are gonna go off to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Duke, Stanford, MIT. Like, she spoke life into us, even from freshman year. And I think that made a huge difference for me because I had no limits. And a lot of times in life, it's your limiting beliefs that prevent you from achieving at the highest levels. But being in an environment where you're being poured into and the expectation is excellence at all times, and you're also given the support to get there, it's a game changer. So what has that been like for you? And again, I know you only have Stuyvesant to really compare it to, but perhaps maybe you have some friends who didn't get into a specialized high school. And so you can kind of tell the difference. Or maybe you have a sibling that didn't necessarily go to a specialized high school. So like, to what extent can you speak to the impact and significance in terms of your life outcomes that you've experienced, at least up to this point?
That's a really good. Well, what you said was really powerful, because I related to myself as well. Before high school, didn't know anything about college. Even in my freshman and sophomore year, nothing about college. Once junior year hit though, because that's like your most important year, I guess college was just in the air. So everyone was talking about it, where they had aspirations on going, their grades. And I would say that it really boosted me. My average, I think before junior year, was like an 80. But junior year, I got it up to I actually finished with like a 90. And that was just because of pure like drive and motivation from my peers, from I guess like pressure from my peers, you know, just like the whole college, just the college process in general. So Stuyvesant, the environment, it's perfect for like, I guess, big dreamers who want to go out and go to these top 50, top 10, top 5 schools. It's the perfect environment for it. And I definitely if I didn't go to Stuyvesant, like if I'm thinking if I went to my zone school, I don't know where I would have went, honestly. Like maybe Brooklyn College, BMCC, but definitely not as good as where I'm gonna end up now at Stuyvesant. So I'm forever grateful that I went to this school, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I love that. And what we're talking about here is like peer pressure, right? Peer pressure, when people say the term peer pressure, they're typically referring to it in a negative way. Oh, my friends influenced me to maybe, be mean to someone, or, take some inappropriate substances and put it in my body, or smoke, or skip class, cut, right? It just has a very negative connotation. But what I've noticed about these specialized high schools in any high performance environment is something called positive peer pressure. And that is the positive habits, perspectives, actions, skills, beliefs that this high performance environment, consistently sustains, ends up seeping into how you move. And it improves your performance inadvertently. So even as, again, in my adult life, I call it the mere exposure effect or the proximity effect. So when you're around someone who's super successful or has all the right habits, they're doing all the right things to stay on track for their version of success, just by being in their midst, is going to help you stay on that journey and stay on that path. So there's like a quote, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. And so you want to benefit from being around the best. I mean, this is the city's best. You have to think about it. Whoever gets into Stuyvesant, they scored the highest on this exam. In many cases, they work really hard. They're top of their class, top of their school in some way, shape, or form. And they had the vision. Even just putting the school first tells me that you knew that you deserve the best. So you put that school first. So just that type of mindset, being around that makes a huge difference. So we want to recognize and honor the benefit of being around students like this, because ultimately it's kind of like, it's like a current. Like when you're looking at a river, and the current is really strong. In this environment, it's forcefully pushing you towards high level achievement. And I think that is one of the biggest benefits of any high performance environment, but for sure, going to a specialized high school. So I'm glad that, you've been able to fully benefit from that. You've made some amazing friends. Hopefully that you guys stay together forever. You are lifelong friends, and, go on to do great things. Like that's my charge to you and all the others. Like, what will be your impacts? I would love to hear that. Like, what is your goal? What's your vision for your life now that you're about to head off to college? Like, you've just completed just about your 4 years at Stuyvesant High School. So what do you want for yourself in the next 5-10 years? How do you want to impact the world?
So my plan is to go to veterinary school, actually, and hopefully own my own practice where I could open veterinary clinics around, I'd say Brooklyn, Queens area that aren't I forget the word.
Big corporations?
Yeah, like that. So where they're charging these absurd prices because they can, and they don't really have other competition. So I really want to break that, by opening my own practice in the areas where I live. So that's probably my number one goal.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what would you say to someone who is studying for the SHSAT right now, and they are deciding whether or not they should put Stuyvesant first?
I would definitely say to do it. As a Stuyvesant student, I'm kind of obligated to say that, I go to the school, I'm a senior here. I can't recommend any of the other schools, but I can say that the Stuyvesant experience is definitely one that I would never pass up if I were to take the SHSAT again or make my list over again. It's definitely my life, and I don't regret any decision I made. in regards to that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Karl, for being here with us. We are going to continue our series of interviewing Black and Brown students who are currently attending the specialized high schools in New York City. So hopefully you guys will tune in, and I'll see you in the next video. Toodles!